everybody, I'm Jon Barlow. I'm the principal at high school in Faith Academy, and I'm here to share a little bit about what makes a high school education at Faith Academy unique. Faith Academy has been doing K-12 education for over 60 years, and so for us, high school is grades 9 through 12. In each of those grades, there are about 60 students, so in the high school in total, there are about 240 students that make up our student body. We have 37 teachers from a variety of backgrounds and different countries who teach 70 courses across 9 different departments. So there's a wide variety of academic possibility in high school at Faith Academy. Faith is centered on 4 core values, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about how those core values influence and inform our program in high school. Our first core value is excellence in education. We are primarily a school, and we want to make sure that we are educating students well. For us, that means our academic program is rigorous. We want to make sure that students are well prepared for whatever the next steps in their lives are, whether that's a college or university, whether that means taking a gap year, entering the workforce. We want to make sure that we are preparing them well for whatever they meet when they leave high school. It also means our education is balanced. We do not have tracks or programs that focus on fine arts or vocational skills or STEM only. All of our students take courses across all of our departments in high school. We want to make sure that we're producing and molding well-rounded students and well-rounded people who are able to think and engage with a variety of different topics and a variety of different backgrounds as they enter their lives. Our high school also is flexible. We have students coming from a variety of backgrounds in the Philippines, local schools, international schools, Christian schools, homeschooling, but also students coming from a wide variety of educational backgrounds from all over the world. And what that looks like in Asia versus North America versus Europe looks very, very different. We want to make sure that our educational program is able to handle students coming in from a wide variety of backgrounds and serving them well. We also know that our students leave and go to about a dozen different countries upon graduation. So we want to make sure that the program that we're offering is flexible enough that if a student has specific requirements for the next steps in their lives, they're able to meet those requirements at Faith Academy. We don't want a program that's so restrictive that people are not able to meet the needs that they have. Second core value is gospel integration. That means the person of Jesus Christ, his work and his kingdom permeates and informs everything we do at Faith Academy. Along with academics, we want to make sure that we're forming spiritually mature students. We know that that's the work of God and the Holy Spirit, but we want to foster and encourage that as much as we possibly can. The most visible piece of that program is our weekly chapel. Every week, throughout the school year, our entire high school community, all of our students, all of our staff join together. Parents are welcome. Other members of the community are welcome to join us for that. There's always time of corporate worship through music and singing, and then some teaching from the Word that's geared for and directed toward the students and the situations that they find themselves in. Along with that, we also have bigger special retreats, special events. These are some of the things that high school students look forward to the most in any given year. At the beginning of the year, we kind of kick off our first semester with a retreat where we take our entire high school community off-site for 2.5 days. There's lots of opportunities for games and fellowship and reconnecting with people, but there's also teaching from the Word and times of corporate fellowship and worship to make sure that we're starting our year off well. And then to start the second semester, we have our spiritual emphasis week where we have a special speaker come in. We have a chapel every day focused on a theme that's meant to encourage students as they start their second semester in the back half of the school year. We also have a homeroom program. We want to make sure that every high school student is known by an adult in our community, has someone who's paying attention to them, praying for them, and helping them walk through their spiritual journey, but also their academic, and social emotional lives as well. And so Every student is in a small group homeroom of about 10 to 12 same-gendered students that meet with a faculty member every week. Sometimes they do things that are more focused on spiritual formation and development. Sometimes they do social emotional activities. Sometimes they just get together to hang out and have fun. So it's a very integral part of our spiritual development program, because we want to make sure that students aren't just getting a large group corporate experience, but a small group where they get to know each other, know other students, and know a teacher well. And then optionally, we also have staff, community members who run small group Bible studies, who do one-on-one or small group mentoring. And so for students who are interested in that, there are opportunities to do things that are outside of our structured program. For our education, all of our courses are taught from a Christian perspective and have a biblical worldview integrated into their curriculum. Every course in its curriculum map has touch points where the course content connects with biblical truth, and those things are taught in parallel through our entire program, not just in high school, but K through 12 in our entire school. How we run things is also centered on the gospel. So how we give out awards, how we handle student discipline, the rules that are in effect at Faith Academy are there because of the gospel, because we want to make sure that students know and experience mercy and grace in all areas of their life, down to the way that we handle rules and when students may break those rules. Our third core value is that we are a multicultural community. We have over 20 different nationalities that make up our school community in students and staff, K through 12, and in the broader members of our community. So we want to make sure that we are living that out in the way that we do things at Faith. That informs some of our policies, informs some decisions that we make as a school, but I want to give you some ways that may impact high school students specifically that might not be so obvious. It does mean that students at Faith Academy are making friends with a variety of different students from different backgrounds, different countries, different cultures. It also means that they may come to identify more with students in an international setting than they do with their own nationality or passport country. All our students are third culture kids, even if they're Filipino students who are studying in the Philippines. The context of being in an international school and an international community means they may come to find some part of their identity not in their own country, but in the fact that they're in a multicultural community and they identify with other members of that multicultural community. They will be exposed to a wider set of viewpoints and worldviews. Hopefully those worldviews all are coming from a Christian background and a Christian perspective, but different countries, different cultures value different things in different ways and weight things differently. So our students in high school are exposed to friends and teachers who weight their values differently than they do. And they may come to adjust some of the things that they value based on their interactions and experiences with other students and with teachers. Something that some parents struggle with is they may hope that their kids will attend Faith Academy, get the international background, the international experience, but then decide to return to their home country or their passport country for a university, for a job, that they'll end up marrying someone of their same nationality. Being exposed to a multicultural community at Faith means that often goes the opposite direction. That students may have a taste for the broader world and may decide that they don't identify as heavily with their home country or their passport country. They might decide they want to marry somebody from a different culture or different background. They might decide they want to do university in a different country and maybe end up living and working in a different country that's not their home country or passport country. And so we value that. We think that's a good experience for them, but we want parents to know ahead of time that that's a possibility when you put kids into a multicultural community, especially at the high school level. Our fourth core value is Great Commission partnership. That means that as a school, we want to be part of the work for Jesus and His kingdom, both in our local community, but also worldwide. The primary way that plays out is that we partner with families. in our mission, in our vision, we at Faith Academy are here because we want to enable the kingdom work that's happening in the Philippines and in the area. We want to make sure that considerations over children's education is not a factor for families when they're thinking about the work that they have to do in front of them as Bible teachers, as missionaries, as translators, as NGO workers, whatever that looks like. We want to make sure that they're able to do that by taking the concern over their children's education off the table as a factor for them. We also want to instill it in our students, though. We want to make sure that our students have a vision for how they can be a part of the kingdom work that's happening. So all of our students, every semester that they're enrolled in high school, complete service projects. And that looks like different things depending on students' backgrounds, their interests, and their skills. We have some students who serve the school in various ways. I mentioned our chapel programs, the bands that play during chapel, the lights, the sound, the tech, those are all run by student volunteers who say, I want to serve the school with the skills that I have in those ways. All of our concerts, stage shows, the tech is run by students, the sets are built by students. It's students who are using those skills to further the other programs of the school. We also have students who serve as teacher aides for either teachers in high school or teachers of younger students who may help teachers with logistical things, making bulletin boards or handling materials and making copies, but who also help teachers with things like running small group sessions or reading to students, maybe doing some tutorials with younger students as well. With younger students, there are other ways that students can be involved. If a student in high school feels like they want to help out that age, FAT, which stands for Pursuing Holiness and Truth, is our middle school kind of youth group Bible study program, and every year we have many high school students who have a heart to help out those students in middle school, and so they're doing mentoring and advising and helping run that program for our middle school students. We also have students who serve as coaches and referees for our younger students as they do our sports clubs that we run on the weekends throughout the school year. So there's opportunities for our older students in high school to be involved with the lives of our younger students in the other divisions of our school. But we also want to make sure that our students have a vision for how they can serve beyond just our school community and in the broader community. We have a program called All for Jesus, where we have children who are in the direct community around Faith Academy come up onto campus once a week during our first semester to have kind of a Bible club. They play some games, they hear stories, they are able to hear and be taught the gospel, while giving a chance for our students and our community to build relationships with the people who are closest to us geographically and right around the area that the Faith Academy campus is in. We also have larger scale ministry days where the entire high school or large groups of students will go out and be involved with an NGO or a community outreach group or a mission, and that students will use their skills to help whatever the goals of those organizations are. And there's lots of chances for students to be involved in outreach clubs. Our science club does science tutorials and outreach programs with local students. Our music groups will sometimes go out and do music ministry in the community. So if a student has a specific interest and specific skill, there's ways to use that for the advancing of the kingdom and to show God's love to the community around us. Those are our core values, a little bit about how they influence Faith Academy and make our high school program unique, special, something that I have enjoyed being a part of for almost 20 years at this point. So I've seen lots of years of our Faith alumni graduate and move out into the world and begin impacting the world in some awesome ways. So I hope that interests you in our program at Faith Academy. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you and being able to tell you more about what we do and who we are.